What's going on, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review, the show where we talk about the books we read in the previous week as this week's books are coming out. But for this episode 551, we're moving forward. We'll be reviewing the books that came out on January 14th, 2024, second week of the new year.
Yep, and that was my birthday.
And it was Mike's birthday, which is the end of birthdays, because we had birthdays, we had extra stuff going on behind the scenes. So, again, look forward to more stuff coming in the new year. We're already starting, like I said, we're 2 weeks in, but there's a lot of plans in the work. So, keep an eye out. But till then, let's get into the books for this week. This is a 12-book week. First book we're going to talk about is Spaceghost. We're in the Independence first. Spaceghost issue number 7, Antimatter Man, which is basically Jan and Jace's grandfather. This is the premiere of another villain. Really good first part to the story. It is a two-parter. This is not a standalone story like we've been getting from Spaceghost for the past couple of issues. I really enjoyed it. I liked the development of the grandfather. I really liked Jan and Jace's, obviously, connection because it's their grandfather. Loved Spaceghost in this book. The build-up to the grand reveal that the grandfather was the antimatter man, or I believe that's what they called him, and how he's actually stronger than Spaceghost, and the cliffhanger at the end was really good as well. I gotta say, when it comes to Spaceghost, love the artwork, love the writing. Dynamite is doing a really good job with all of these properties that they've somehow acquired. I know that Terminator used to be a Dynamite book, and
yeah, actually it was.
I'll tell you, not a dark. Yeah, it used to be Dark Horse. Now it's Dynamite. Yeah. I'll tell you, Dynamite's really ramping it up. Originally, it was just Red Sonja, Vampirella, occasional Army of Darkness. Now they got all these different properties. They've got the Disney properties as well, and they've just been killing it. So congrats to Dynamite. You guys have been doing great, but leading the trends with these blind bags, the $15 blind bags.
But speaking of Dark Horse, you would...
Yeah, no, I'm done.
I didn't want to cut you off there. We are going into a Dark Horse comic book, and the first issue of Tomb Raider, Sacred Artifacts. For this one, and knowing me, I am a huge Tomb Raider fan. I love Lara Croft in the video game.
You should get the library
and I am
edition books, and there's the two Dark Horse statues they made of them.
And I did do Tomb Raiders in the past, so actually it's like they said, these comic books, they know I'm back, so they're giving me like the comic books I read in the past.
They know we're back, yeah.
But for Tomb Raider, just to make it short and sweet, it's at the Croft Manor where there's this woman who's going to interview Lara Croft on her adventures. And what I didn't actually know was that, you remember the butler that was in Tomb Raider 2, right? So basically, because of everything that she's been through, with finding things piece by piece, it was actually the butler who actually saved her life. And actually gave her a lot of stuff. And we do get like a little bit more of an insight about her story along with these new adventures that she's going to be going on. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the next 3 issues of this story to see how it's going.
Right,
4 issues. 4. Yeah. Just to see how it unfolds. And the real adventure, I guess, will begin in the next issue, though. But I really enjoyed the issue, and the artwork was great, too, nonetheless. Now, this is the X-O Manowar. This is a new story arc called The God Hunt, and this is a 4-part of that.
I don't understand. And now, the one thing I gotta say, and this is something that IDW/Valiant shouldn't be doing. This is really X-O Manowar issue number 5.
Right.
But they renumbered it. Or does it say, can I just see the cover 2 seconds?
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Yeah, they didn't even put like the official number. It's literally just 1 of 4. But this is really the 5th issue of X-O Manowar. It's a new story arc. So instead of using the number of the book, they're using the number of the arc.
Which I guess is something they want.
I guess.
I see issue 5 on here now.
It is technically the 5th issue, though.
It is the 5th issue, yes. But basically in this issue, we get more of an insight about Arak and why the Queen, Shanhara, I think her name is. Because in the issues, I've been wondering why the Queen hasn't been in communication with Arak during his adventures. So we find out that she was actually kidnapped by some type of creatures who actually have her in this like tree stump thing, and then he actually comes in to save her from all that, and It is very graphic though, but the way that he does it and the way that they actually get back together was just so amazing. I don't want to give too much away, and it's actually my book of the week, by the way, the X-O Manowar. Really great story. Artwork is great as always, and for this new story arc, we're going to see more of Arak because somebody seems to be on the lookout of him because he was in like the ocean. So we don't know who it's going to be until the next issue. So I'm going to be really looking forward to seeing who has their eyes set on Arak after what he did.
Mm-hmm. G.I. Joe issue number 17, the finale to the Dreadnought War. There is a major thing that happens in this book. So if you're not wanting spoilers, you may want to wait till Mike holds the next book up because I am going to mention the major spoiler here. So the final part, like I said, you had Cobra Commander versus the Dreadnoughts, finds a way to re-team up with the Dreadnoughts, and all looks glim for the very small G.I. Joe team versus the army of Dreadnoughts plus Cobra Commander plus other Cobra members that show up until one of the G.I. Joes reveals, and this is the spoiler of the book, that one of the vehicles is an actual Transformer that they had been talking with secretly for the longest time. Yes, so the Jeep transforms, and
how are they in their universe? They're in their universe?
Yeah, it's the Energon universe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the official first crossover begins, and the Transformer ends up saving the G.I. Joes, but now Duke wants legitimate answers because he lost Cobra Commander, and they have their own freaking Autobot.
Wow.
And then there's also, I won't spoil this, the last page, we find out that there might be a mole. Well, not a mole. There might be somebody undercover in G.I. Joe. Well, there not might be. There is. And we find out who that is. I won't spoil the last page, though. The fact that we had an Autobot show up, finally, the first crossover with G.I. Joe.
That's insane.
Excellent. We had it with Void Rivals really early on before G.I. Joe or Transformers came out. Now we have the Transformers with G.I. Joe. And also there is more with Mask. I will say that. I'm looking forward to seeing if we get like a mini-series or something at some point with Mask. I'm looking forward to that. Excellent stuff. But speaking of Transformers, issue number 28. RC Prime. Oh, Magnus. RC Magnus. We get to see the first, because Ultra Magnus wants to step down and give his rank to RC. She gets an upgrade in this book. Optimus asks Ultra Magnus to still stick on with the title at the very least. We get to see an Autobot team. We get to see some dark stuff at the end of the book with Megatron because I think I mentioned this before, but again, it continues showing that the Decepticons are no longer holding back when it comes to fighting the Autobots. We get to see a little bit of a glimmer with Soundwave. We get to see a few other things here. Excellent story. Excellent artwork. Really great story. Looking forward to seeing what happens with Transformers. I feel like 2026 is going to gear us up for the very first crossover, though, with Transformers and G.I. Joe. And Mask. So we got a lot of stuff in the Energon universe that is starting up. But anyway, that's it for the independents. We're going over to Marvel now.
Yes, and we're going to start it off with the Amazing Spider-Man Torn, issue number 4.
4? Or is there one more issue?
I think there's another issue actually after this. Yeah, it is actually to be concluded. I just remembered the last page. Okay. But in this issue, we get can't remember that woman's name. I knew I was gonna forget, but she's one to turn into a bat actually. So she is put on a mission to do what she needs to do, and if she does follow through, all of society and everyone there is just completely dead. So she doesn't really want to go through with this because of the people who she knows, because that means she would be the only one that would be the survivor and the servant of the person who's doing all this. So she wants to go back to normal. In order to do that, they have to destroy the book. And they find out when Spider-Man, actually, who makes friends with her because of all this of what's going on, because she explains it, goes to the professor and one or two ways they could do this. They could either destroy the book, or they would have to take one page out of the book and put it on fire, so that way she could possibly maybe go back to normal, but she doesn't really want to if that means society goes this and that. And you know how they say, oh, we're going to give you this, but that you know how bad guys are. They don't really do that. So they do find the book, or somehow something with the book. It comes out of the book where the ruler was basically released. And this isn't good because now they have to find a way to defeat this one. And it's going to be a really big one on their hands. I don't know how they're going to do this, but the way it was just left off like that is giving me a question of how they're going to defeat this thing. And that is to be concluded in the last issue of Torn.
I was looking forward to this book. Logan, Black, White, and Blood, issue number 1. This is one of those polybag books. Just like with the Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red, it's basically self-contained stories. This one has, I believe it was 3 stories in it. This was one of the first books I read because I was looking forward to it. Obviously, the first story is the biggest, the longest one. It's Logan in the army. Then we get another story where this is like, I guess right after he broke out of Weapon X, because it's his naked days in the forest, so to speak. And again, the title says it all. Black, White, and Blood. Definitely graphic. Definitely something for mature readers. The stories, however, were excellent. The artwork for each story has a different artist. Really, really good. If you're a Wolverine fan, I highly recommend checking this book out. I liked it a lot. I like how it's like little extra stories. It's not something you have to read for continuity. It's not something that, it's strictly for the Wolverine fans that have been liking the Black, White, and, well, it's either the Black, White, and Red, Black, White, and Blood, and in Spider-Man's case, the Black, White, and Symbiote. I believe it was Symbiote or something like that. I do enjoy these black and white books that are coming out of Marvel and Red. Mostly it's Red. I think it was kind of their answer to DC Comics, Superman Red, White, or Red and Blue, because it was a Red and Blue comic with black and white. Excellent book, though. Definitely for mature readers, though. I would recommend it. I really, really like the stories in this book. So if you're a Wolverine fan, check this book out.
Yes. And just to go back to Torn also, there is a little bit of a Harry Osborn backstory of between him and his father of not, working out so well, because they explain why he actually left his father to go, But I just thought I'd just add that in there if you want to read it. Okay, so now we have Spirits of Violence, issue number 4. And this is where I could just sum it up in a few sentences. It's Johnny versus Roxanne, as you can see on the comic book, or Barbara basically. And he is trying to just get her out of that whole funky thing with what she's been possessed and going through. So he gives her the penance stare, of course, where she's with her brother and everything. But then she actually found a loophole to get out of the penance stare to get back at Johnny. So there's just like a whole big thing that happens in this issue. The artwork is really just amazing. Every issue that I read of Spirits of Violence, the artwork just gets better and better for the story. And it really is getting me hooked on what's going on. And it actually is getting me into reading even more of this. Because I never read Ghost Rider books until I came across this one. But issue all itself is just amazing. And if you're a Ghost Rider fan, you'll be definitely picking it up and seeing the action. And if not, then you won't. But I would really wait until you get the omnibus to know what's going on in the story.
Omnibus, you mean the graphic?
I'm sorry. Why I say omnibus? The graphic novel, to know what's going on from then that led to now. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
We're now in DC Comics, and I believe it's all me all the way to the end. So Action Comics issue number 1094, Superboy. Sam Lane comes a call, and they need Superboy's help, and he joins the army. Sam Lane has his own suit for Superboy. Superboy goes in to help extract certain soldiers in the middle of a battlefield, and things don't exactly go well. I think Superboy learns a lot in this issue when it comes to, being who he is. And he learns also that he can't save everyone. I'm going to put it that way. I think that's the safest way to put it without spoiling too much. I've been really liking Action Comics doing these Superboy stories. I like seeing Tales of Superman when he was younger. I'm glad that DC Comics brought it back. Obviously, that means that the suit between the Siegel and Schusters is, or they came to some type of another mutual agreement. Story's really good. Art's really good. Obviously, we're going to be seeing more of Sam Lane calling on Superboy. I did like the ending where he paid tribute to someone who, like I said, he learns that he can't save everyone. It was a really good book. I'm looking forward to more young Superman stories. Obviously, we're going to be seeing that post-KO without too... Well, it's not really a spoiler, but we get to see a crossover possibly with present and past Superman and Superboy. Really good stuff. Green Lantern Corps issue number 12. All the Corps versus Larfleeze. It might have been a mistake to bring the Orange Lantern onto Oa. And then don't forget also, we have the other villain that was a prisoner on Oa who wants revenge on the Green Lanterns now.
The rings thing? I thought that this
No,
was...
it's still going on.
Oh, wow.
So, you have that going on in the background, and we find out that he's a bit more twisted than initially thought. You've got Larfleeze, who's basically destroying all of Oa, wanting to take everything for himself. Again, it was a mistake bringing the Orange Lantern, and I feel like he's going to be the first one, but also he is going to be the reason why all the other Lantern Corps learn how to work together, I believe. And then I think this other villain that's in the background, like I said, that's slowly approaching Oa, is going to bring Larfleeze in to finally make a full team, like all the lanterns working finally together. Obviously, I think the only lanterns that aren't there are the black, and the white one only comes out on certain occasions. So the other Corps, it's going to be, this is basically the setup, I believe, to all the Corps finally working together, which I think is really cool. How long that'll last, though, we'll see. I mean, we do see that there is definitely tension amongst all the Lantern Corps. I really like Green Lantern Corps. It's a really good book. It goes perfect side by side with Green Lantern. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes in the coming year. There's a lot of promise for Green Lantern Corps. 2 DCKO books. This is a crossover. Aquaman issue number 13. The cover says it all. It's really just a story about Mira. Mira in the past and the present. And I guess it's still considered DCKO crossover-ish because they show Aquaman and Hawkman teaming up together in 2 or 3 panels or two, like a page or two. That's it. It's mostly focusing on Mira being alone while Aquaman is away. This is the epitome, or this is the definition of tied in but not really. This is, I believe, the last issue of Aquaman that's tied into DCKO before it goes into its own story again. And it is the loosest tie-in, the loosest tie-in I've read. You don't need this book unless you are reading Aquaman. It literally showed Aquaman teaming up with Hawkman, which is going to lead into what I'm about to tell you with KO issue number 3. There was no... If you needed to know what books you don't need for the KO crossover, this one was so light. Unless you are reading Aquaman, you didn't need it. Was the artwork good? Yes. Was the story interesting? If you're an Aquaman fan, yes. For me, though, I was reading this book specifically just for the KO crossover, which there was very little of in this book. So for me, if you're only reading for KO, this is a pass. If you're reading it because of Aquaman, then this was definitely a book for you. For me, not so much. It wasn't even needed as a crossover. I was kind of a little disappointed when I got to the end of the book because I was hoping to get a little bit more of a crossover. All we know is that Lex Luthor and Supergirl are teaming up to fight against Hawkman and Green Lantern. And why? DCKO issue number 3, the next part of the tournament. It's team-ups. Superman and Shazam, Aquaman and Hawkman, Lex Luthor, Supergirl, Joker with a surprise partner, Wonder Woman and Zatanna, and oh man, I can't remember all the teams now. Shoot, I'm gonna remember at some point, but it basically becomes a team versus. And then the team winners are being thrusted immediately into the next part of the tournament. The big twist that I really liked was the person that Joker chose as his partner, and he could choose from all the multiverse. He chose the Batman that laughs. That was really cool. Everyone's talking about the fusion of Shazam and Superman. Ever since the Batman, Green Lantern, Superman fusion, apparently now anyone can fuse with anyone. So in the team-ups, we had Superman fusing with Shazam to beat... Oh, it was Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner was another team. So they defeated Guy Gardner and Hal. Lex Luthor and Supergirl beat... what do you call it? Hawkman and Aquaman. And I believe Wonder Woman and whomever beat...
Zatanna, you said before.
Wonder Woman and Zatanna... No, Zatanna teamed up with, I believe, Constantine. Shoot, I don't remember now.
Actually,
I read this.
It would make
this is
sense
one of the
for
first
Constantine
books.
Because
I think I think she was with. Anyway, I forgot the teams. Really, a lot of the focus. Another thing I liked was Lex Luthor, because Supergirl didn't want to team with Luthor. Luthor had red kryptonite because he has the suit that has all the kryptonites, so he was able to turn Supergirl into a raging mess. Excellent book. This tournament is really developing a lot. Oh, and then the ending, which is not a spoiler, because if you've seen the cover for issue number 4, you already know this is coming. The winners are thrusted into the next match, and the next match is versus Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman from the Absolute Universe. And you've got Darkseid, who is Booster Gold possessed as Darkseid, alongside them. So now the 4 of them have entered the tournament as we're getting closer to the end of the tournament. What's going to happen next?
Do you really still think Superman's going to win, or there's going to be...
I don't know what's going to happen. We do know that Superman is going to disappear.
There's going to be a really big twist. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Especially with Booster Gold, too.
I have no clue, but we do know that Superman disappears for a time. It'll probably be anywhere from about 6 to 9 months, and then Superman will be back. I don't believe they're going to keep Superman gone long, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Let's focus on the now. KO, excellent book. Aquaman, loose connection, not needed. It's a pass for me, but I'm not for an Aquaman fan. And with that, that's it for this review. Stay tuned. Next week, there are a lot of books for this week. I actually looked at what came out today. There's a lot of books that came out, so look forward to a review hopefully by the weekend. We've got a snowstorm coming on the East Coast. Let's hope that it's not bad, but with a snowstorm means he has work, so we'll have to see how it works around his schedule if that does happen.
We'll try.
We'll work our hardest to get it out as soon as we can, but look forward to the review next. Mike's Top 5, he's already done episode 2. Episode 3 is going to be coming very soon as well.
Yep.
And then look forward to more videos as we move forward in the new year. Till next time, everybody, take care. Keep reading, keep collecting. We will see all of you really soon in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.